IFBB4, Kim Williams, what species are you?
Columbo with RXMuscle.com in the Iron Asylum with Vincenzo Masone and Chris Ketcham. We are here less than 2 weeks out from the 2014 New York Metropolitan Championships. We're also here with diet coach Dominic Mutasio, and we're going to find out a little bit about these new great talents on the NPC scene. Let's go to you first, Dominic. Dominic, obviously we're good friends. I know you've been coaching these two prodigies, as I like to call them. Talk to me about how you met them.
All right. Well, Chris, I've known Chris probably going on like 8 years now. I met Chris in the gym. He actually started competing before I did, but just hasn't competed in about like 5 years. And, he kind of talked me into actually competing at first. And at the time I was just graduating from school, my degree in dietetics and kinesiology. And I did my first show, and then ever since I've been competing, he's been, by my side the whole time. And Vinny, I met him through Jerry.
Jerry
Scalisi.
Was,
Jerry Scalisi. He was training him last year, and Vinny really didn't have like a diet coach at the time. And this year, maybe about, I'd say like 3-4 weeks ago, I talked to Jerry and looked at Vinny's diet and stuff, and he asked me if I would want to dial him in the last couple of weeks. So that's how I met Vincenzo.
Now, Vincenzo, I remember Jerry last year showing me pictures of you. He sent them to me on Facebook, and he said, you got to check this kid out. He's only been training a little bit, and I got him in the gym, and I think he's going to be a great talent. And I've seen your physique evolve and change over the last like 18 months or so, and it's been pretty amazing. How long have you actually been working out at this point?
Hey Dave, how you doing? By the way, I've been training since I was 14.
Oh, you are? Okay.
So about 8 years.
All right, that makes sense.
Yeah, but really, I've been training like dialed in, for only about 2, really heavy every day,
right.
What
did Jerry say to you when he first met you? Because Jerry's intense, and Jerry doesn't give compliments out unless he really sees talent. So he must have seen something.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. Well, it was about last summer around, let's say May, like end of May. I get a text, saying, hey, this is Jerry Scalisi, former Mr. Universe, this and that. If someone gets a hold of you, I saw some of your pictures. I saw your video on MD back when I was 20 years old. I did like a video with them at Bev's, and he was very impressed, and he said, if you get some legs on you, you could do some damage, because I had pretty good upper body, a pretty good upper body. So then the next week, we went over to Powerhouse Miller Place, and I met him there for the first time, and we trained legs, and it was probably the craziest workout I've ever done. And I was like, oh my God, is it going to be like this, all the time, this and that? And it was really good. And since then, Jerry's been with me, throughout this prep, the whole time. He actually picked me up like 6 weeks before the Atlantic States, back in June.
Sure, I remember that last year.
Yeah, and ever since then, man, it's been great. Jerry's been helping me out. Dom just linked up with me about 4 or 5 weeks ago, and everything's coming in, everything's evolving, and I'm confident this time around.
Chris, let me go to you now. You've been training a little longer probably than Dom, although maybe not. Dom's been training 8 years. How did you get into the bodybuilding world, and what first attracted you to it?
When I was younger, just like Dominic, I was a wrestler all through high school, and right out of high school, I, became obviously into fitness. From that point, I just tried to take it a little bit, further and further. I actually became a personal trainer. I took a SMART certification class back in 2008 with Allen College.
I thought your name sounded familiar, and I couldn't remember where I knew the name from, but you did take SMART. You're right.
Yeah, that was it. I actually just bumped into Paul Neville again, and he recognized me over at Bev's Gym this weekend too, and we caught up, from old times and stuff. And he even gave me some great compliments. Said that my body definitely has transformed a whole lot. With definite thanks. With Dominic for everything he's helped me out with and whatnot. And for the past 5 years, Dom is like, you got to do another show, bro. Every time we get together, when are you going to compete again? When are you going to compete again? And I was involved in a bad motorcycle accident a few years back, which put me, like 6 surgeries in. Last April, I had ACL reconstruction on my left leg. So that's still not even a year in right now, fully healed. And unfortunately, through this prep, which I think I've made probably the best progress in my life, especially with the help of Dom and his diet coaching and training and his workouts, this muscle confusion program that he's got me working on and the resistance training. I kind of had a little setback with a torn hamstring about 7 weeks ago, which we immediately, I went to some therapy. I went to my surgeon, and we've altered my training to basically work around it as best we can. And I'm still happy with the progress I've made, so I'm still going to continue to move forward and step on the stage and see what I can bring. I mean, like I said, by far, it's definitely the best I've gotten my body in shape in years. So I'm really happy.
Let me go to you for a second. We're seeing so many young talents now going to men's physique because it's easier. You can kind of get it to the pro level at a much quicker pace. What do you think it is that these guys were attracted to, and what kept them focused on bodybuilding as opposed to going maybe the easier route?
Well, just because, these two guys have a similar mentality to me. Why are they going to try to go ahead and go on stage at 80% when, they could train their ass off and come in at 100% and be a bodybuilder? I've always felt I'd rather turn pro as a bantamweight in bodybuilding than, in physique. It's nothing against physique. I mean, I like it, and I think that there's a niche for it. But, I wouldn't want to sit there and hold my body back pretty much.
Let me go to Vincenzo for a second because Vin, you've been lifting for quite a while. Obviously, bodybuilding is kind of in your blood now. Obviously, Jerry's got you training legs. You're hardcore at this point. Did you ever, for a second, think, maybe I should try men's physique, or what kept you really focused on the bodybuilding? What do you like about it?
Yeah, so men's physique has never even crossed my mind whatsoever. Nothing against them. I have a couple friends who do it and dabble with it. But,
because you didn't train legs your legs were not that great originally, and now they've come up tremendously from last year. So you could have gone to the men's physique if you wanted to. You had the great upper body.
Yeah, I definitely had the men's physique legs. I had the little legs, but and I'll admit it. I shouldn't even have really done a show without help of a coach and dietitian. But I just wanted to get my feet wet. But yeah, the whole men's physique thing, I like to train too heavy and hardcore. I couldn't, I'd rather, I don't know. I could never see myself doing it. I just love being big.
What is some of your best lifts that you would say were impressive?
Some of my best lifts were probably a 505 bench.
Wow.
Like a 110 dumbbell curl standing. Like a 600 squat, leg pressing. I think a couple weeks ago I did 1600, and my manager jumped on top of it to make it, a little more. Sure. So I don't know. I just love lifting heavy. I love being hardcore. And I don't know. Nothing against them, but it's more of like a beach body thing to me. I feel like
it is. 600-pound squat is pretty good for someone who didn't train legs last year. I'm impressed.
Yeah, I know.
Man.
The funny thing is, Dave, with Jerry, we don't go as heavy. Like we'll go heavy, but it's so many reps, it's so much volume. It's like he'll put me on the vertical leg press, and after like 10 sets of that in the beginning, I'm like done. I'm like, oh my God. And then he's just like, all right, extensions, curls, squats, this, that. I'm like, oh my God, I love this shit.
Yeah, Jerry loves to torture you. Most guys don't want to train with legs with Jerry because it's way too painful. But you're actually enjoying it, which means maybe you'll probably will make a great bodybuilder. Let me go to you, Chris. Talk to me about what you felt in your, I guess, experience over the years has worked best for you. Do you like volume training? Do you like more heavy, intense training, more like Dorian Yates style, less sets, more weight? What have you found works best for your body?
Well, when I was a little bit younger, I would definitely say I loved to push my body over the limits and train a lot heavier. Maybe it was the macho thing, like, oh, can I bench 405 or can I be the strongest guy in the gym? But after, I'd say my body now, I'm 10 surgeries already through, some major joints, both my knees, both my shoulders.
Wow.
So I'm pretty much past the mentality of I have to be the strongest guy in the gym, but I really have to be the smartest guy in the gym now. So it's more focused on definitely more, I'd say more volume, more blood pumping exercises. I like the whole high rep drop set, superset stuff Dom's been putting me through. They've worked tremendously on my body. It's responded well to me. I mean, like I said, my body's never been shaped the way it is right now, and it's definitely contributed probably to, a lot of this new stuff that I've introduced to myself and Dom has provided me. So I would go along with I'm not really the super strongest guy in the gym. I mean, I can push my weight around, especially if I have somebody pushing me. The days are far and few between when I get Dominic to actually work out with me because he's in the city. I'm out east on Long Island now.
Right.
But, I definitely, I'm more of the higher rep drop set, superset, just blood pumping kind of workouts. And it definitely still stimulates muscle growth with my body, that's for sure. And my body's obviously the proof of that now. So
yeah, well, you both look phenomenal, and Dominic, you did a great job with these guys. I'm looking forward to seeing them up on stage at the Metropolitan Championships. That was one of the first shows that I ever did to really make a name for myself back in, I believe it was 1994. So you guys, 21 years later, are going to be up there too. Hopefully, we'll see some 2 weight class champions. Maybe you guys vying for the overall together. But for now, we are out of time. I'm Dave Palumbo with Vincenzo Masone and Chris Ketcham, along with Dominic Matasio in the Iron Asylum.